Okay. So this time, all of your examples, your missing piece is now your angle. Okay, so you still need to figure out your reference angle. This time it's going to be the unknown angle that they want you to find. And you still need to label your sides as adjacent, opposite, hypotenuse, depending on that reference angle. You still need to decide, am I using sine, cosine, or tangent? Okay, it's just the solving part at the end that's a little bit different. Okay. So my reference angle is where my question mark is. They put a question mark instead of an X. They could have put an X there. Sometimes they'll put this symbol there. Beta.
Beta? What does beta mean?
It's a Greek symbol they use instead of like X.
Oh, that's
They'll
dumb.
use that.
They went too far. You could just put an X.
Okay.
Oh, I forgot.
So this is my reference angle. What kind of sides am I dealing with?
Hypotenuse and opposite.
Hypotenuse, which is what?
53.
53. And you said opposite? Fantastic. Okay. Any questions on opposite and hypotenuse? Okay.
Wait. So,
So it's sine. Close.
Hold on.
Okay.
You good?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So opposite hypotenuse.
Sine.
Sine. So SOH. So sine. Normally we put sine of my angle. Well, I don't know what my angle is. So you can put a question mark. You can change it to X. I don't care what you want to call it. Okay. Sine of some unknown angle is going to be, which one of these numbers go on top? 31. Remember, it's SOH, which means O goes on top, H goes on the bottom. So 31 over 53.
You can't divide those. I mean, you can, but it gets you a ridiculous number.
Okay, so normally to move things to the other side of an equation, we have to do an inverse. If it was positive, we had to subtract. If it was being multiplied, we had to divide. If it was being squared, we had to square root it. Well, sine also has an inverse. Okay. The inverse of sine, so your question mark would equal your inverse sine, which is kind of like sine -1.
Is that on the calculator?
Yep. 31 divided by 53. That's it. Now you got to plug it in.
So we always put it in parentheses.
Yes. Okay. So what's the first thing I told you
Sine.
that you've got to do?
Degree.
Go to mode. We're going to do this every day. Go to mode and make sure it's in degree. Some of them probably are still in degree because they haven't been cleared out, but double check it. If it's not, I need you to put it into degree. Okay. Yes, sir. I'll show you how to do that. Your calculator has this.
So,
What if Christy get out of there?
oh, so we would have
Second mode will quit you out. Okay, so right above sine, you should see in little yellow printing, you'll see the sine -1, your inverse.
to.
So you hit second sine to use your inverse. Okay, you don't raise it to the -1. You do the inverse, so second sine. And then my fraction is 31 divided by 53. Close it off.
35.8.
35.8 degrees. Whoop, there it is.
We wouldn't have to use 2 spots for this one. So it wouldn't be 80.
It says, it doesn't say, so we'll stick with nearest tenth.
Okay. So it has to say.
It will say.
Okay.
And again, if it doesn't say on your test, your answer choices will all be to the same decimal. So, okay. What do I have in this one?
The opposite, the adjacent.
Hypotenuse and adjacent. Cosine. What number goes on top?
39.
Okay. Just like sine. When I'm trying to find the angle, I've got to take the inverse. So cosine also has an inverse. It looks very similar to sine, but it says cosine. 36 divided by 39. Because it's CAH. So your A goes on top, your H goes on the bottom. Okay.
It's 22.61.
You said 22.6. I honestly think solving for an angle is easier than solving for a side.
I think it is. Too.
Yep.
You don't have a hypotenuse on this one. So
Okay. So Lolly says I don't have the hypotenuse on this one.
Opposite adjacent.
We've got opposite and adjacent. Which one's which?
9 is your opposite. 32 is your adjacent.
Perfect.
So tangent.
So we're using tangent. Tangent of my angle equals
9 over 32.
9 over 32. Again, it's TOA. So O comes first, A comes second.
is it tan -1?
So the inverse tan of 9 divided by 32.
15.1.
7.
Will it always be in degree form?
Yes. We do not do anything with radians in here. Radians will come when you start talking about the unit circle.
What are radians? You know what? That makes sense.
That's a good idea. Because I could tell you, but you don't need it for this class. Let's focus on what we need to keep in your brain.
Yes, please.
Anything else will confuse me.
Right.
Has your hypotenuse and
Okay, so Lolly says hypotenuse
And
opposite.
and opposite.
So it's not.
So we're sine. Yes, ma'am.
56.4. That's opposite.
Okay, so you've got a couple of ways to look at it.
I don't know if I did it enough.
So directly opposite is that side. This, yes. No matter what angle they give you, directly across from your right is always the hypotenuse. Then you need to decide between opposite and adjacent. So once you have your hypotenuse, whichever side creates your angle with your hypotenuse is your adjacent side, which would make that your opposite. So same thing here. Hypotenuse, adjacent. Okay. Good question. Sine, what goes on top?
5 over 6.
Perfect. So the inverse sine of 5, 6.
Is 54.4. 56.4. That's what I meant. Okay, that was like really
I keep looking like I have my watch on and I don't.
Where'd
What
your
happened
watch
to
at,
it?
Miss?
It's back on my desk because I didn't charge it and my Fitbit is dying. So all I'm getting is the little battery with the exclamation point like, charge me, charge me.
Not charge me, charge me. Charge me.
Okay. Try these 3 on your own before we go through them.
Oh, they're the same. Oh, yeah.
Ugh. I need to start gluing in my pages because I'm behind again.
Once they find the ratio and once they find an angle. Right.
Listen, solve for the angle.
We have the hypotenuse.
Ignore the directions
Yeah,
and
I'm
solve for
and
the
we have
angle.
the adjacent. So hypotenuse and adjacent.
Hold up, write it on top of your paper.
Right, because you're tall. So
So
That's what y'all are wearing.
okay, hypotenuse adjacent. So
I
that's
mean, preferably
it's cos.
yes.
But
and it's 8 over 11.
There they
So
are.
let's cos to the
What do you call that thing where it's -1?
Inverse.
the inverse, yes, of 8/11.
Can you teach me how to put that in?
So you have to do second, and then either one of
Wait,
these.
make sure it's in degrees.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright.
So yeah, second, and then cos, and then you just enter the numbers, and then make sure that you close it off.
Okay. 8 divided by. And you get
43.3 degrees. Do not forget the degree. So we don't have the hypotenuse,
Yeah.
but we
opposite
yep, the opposite.
adjacent. So it's gonna be total.
So that's 10.
10.
Then 44 over. Wait.
What'd you do? Just shut the light off so you can't see?
They thought they was gonna get the answers off of me.
Wait. Opposite and adjacent.
That's all right, because when you guys are ready to go over
It's
this,
not even one of those.
Yes, it is. 34 over 44.
and I'm gonna sit back here
But 10 is
and tell them whether you're
opposite
right or
and
wrong.
hypotenuse.
Opposite.
Oh, that's because I did the total. I put total with the edge.
Never mind.
So opposite.
All right. Is it big enough?
So 44 over 34.
Higher?
And then 10.
I'll hit my head and somebody grab my ear.
10,
Got my ear.
44.
We can't get it.
No, 34 because it's TO.
Pretty good?
Miss your favorite part?
30,
Yeah, the opposite.
34 over 44.
No, it's opposite first, then it's adjacent.
Right, and opposite is right here, right?
Hell yeah, I did that.
I'll hold you down.
But it's gonna be 37.7. I'm not sure. I know it's 37. Maybe it's not.
Yeah, 0.7, yeah.
Okay, degrees.
Most I have ever done since I've been here was when
You're gonna pass. I didn't get it.
that was the
This
funnest thing.
So it's
Watch.
37.7.
Because the whole
Okay.
sitting there like,
We have the hypotenuse
And the adjacent.
and the opposite.
I love to see
Wait,
your
how do
Opposite
you?
from that one. Because opposite from the.
Okay, okay.
I like the
So opposite and adjacent. Wait, hypotenuse.
It's so low.
Yeah. So it's sine
I got pictures of me and her and you baby, pretty big red dress.
10 over 11.
Yeah, I got it.
And
I mean, I can look at, I'm not allowed to tell you
To get them off unless I want to.
don't say
But I
it.
can tell you.
Okay.
I got them and I was like, no, right. I think it's pretty
Yep, we have the same thing.
Okay.
So it would be 65.4.
Theory.
The next two pages.
It's ugly. Harry. Harry. No, 'cause you got my number. No.
All right. Go down.
Oh yeah, unlock your phone.
Pull it down, we'll do one at a time, okay?
Oh, I got you. Oh, this way.
Okay. So, Tay labeled her sides as 11 was your hypotenuse, 8 is your adjacent. Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Cosine. Okay? 8 over 11. Good. Did you get 43.3?
Yeah.
Right. Sure. Kenley wants to come up and put the second one
Can I
on.
do the third one?
Sure.
Yeah. I wrote sloppy, so don't pick on me.
She says I wrote sloppy, so don't pick on me.
I'm so serious. I was trying to beat Jackie and go back in there.
Yes.
Okay, I was gonna say things.
I'm the teacher now. Everybody hush. Okay.
Yeah, we can't even see that.
You got it sideways too.
Oh,
You still.
Why does it look
What is
like
that on your
that?
pic? I don't even care.
I don't even know.
It's because she wrote in pencil, it doesn't show up quite as well.
Okay, so I got
Nay,
10
I'm sorry.
nay.
because this is the adjacent and this is the opposite.
Uh-huh.
And then you don't have a hypothesis. So I wrote 10. Then, how do you say it?
Hypotenuse.
Oh, okay.
You don't have a
So-
hypothesis.
Well, at least I'm right about that. So 34 goes on the top because O comes before A.
Good.
And then 44 goes on the bottom because it comes last. And then I put question mark equals 10, negative 1. 34. And then I got 37.7.
You put a question mark in the calculator?
Yeah.
37.7.
On social media.
Good.
No,
Fantastic.
Oh, can we
That's
turn it?
wonderful work.
Okay, so like I said, I was trying to beat Jackie, so it's like
Okay,
super
first of all,
sloppy.
They were racing for the end.
I had to win. I won. It's okay.
Okay, first one.
So that's the hypotenuse. That's the opposite.
Yeah, so that's it.
Okay. Sign is so. SOH. So opposite goes on top, hypotenuse on the bottom. 65.4. Yeah.
Wrong. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, so you got something else wrong?
Stay right here.
Okay.
Stop.